Hi, welcome to the first official Get Your Shit Together Fitness video. We've been wanting to do this for quite a while, but we didn't really know how to start. We didn't know how to gain your trust and your respect. So we thought, why not? Let's just do an introduction so you can get to know us and how we got where we are today.
I know normally, with the way people's attention spans are these days on the internet, if a video is 32 seconds long, nobody will watch it. But with the COVID-19 thing going on, we figured this was the perfect opportunity, so we know you're just sitting at home, you have nothing better to do than listen to us talk for a minute. So every video probably won't be this long. We've been wanting to do this fitness thing, just for friends and maybe people that don't know us. They just, want to have some advice on what kind of things to do, to get into shape, to feel strong and healthy. And it's like, if we just popped out, like, here's a video on how to do a push-up, like, it'd be like, why would you listen to us, And so the main thing we wanted to do with this is just to iterate that we are not special. Like, we are not particularly athletic, genetically gifted, or anything like that. Nor have any of us been doing athletic things for very long at all. If you haven't really done a lot of fitness things, say you have some goal, you're like, I'd like to be more fit, I just don't know how to do it. I think the biggest roadblock is you look at other people that are fit and you go, well, wow, they're just special. They've just always been this way. I'm not. I have problems. I'm old, and that's just not true at all. As a matter of fact, like 6 years ago, I was a drug addict, so were Cody and Chelsea. I was very addicted to heroin and speed. I mean, that was my whole life. I was probably 145 pounds, and that's all I did was do drugs. And so much so that, long story short, I ended up in jail. And when I went to jail, I had that same kind of attitude. I had the attitude of this is society's fault. There were people that were healthy that I looked at and they told me, okay, well, you need to come to these meetings. And I was like, oh, well, that works for you, but that doesn't work for me. I'm different. I'm so wounded. You could never understand me. And then just someday when I was in jail, I guess I was clean enough, like what alcoholics call a moment of clarity. And I just realized, like, the way I think about things is incorrect, and that's how I ended up here. Like, this was all me, it was all the things that I did and the way that I looked at the world that got me here. And so if I want to be different, if I want to be like somebody else that I admire, I need to listen to what they say, and I need to do what they say. And when my mind says, oh, well, no, that's not, I need to not listen to that guy because he's wrong. And I feel like fitness can be the same way.
I feel like I kind of had the same moment, and it was absolutely in jail. I went through a lot, starting at 19, started drinking really heavily. All of our underage friends would come to our apartment and we would throw these huge parties, and I was in an abusive relationship. From that point forward, I feel like I never allowed myself to heal from that. I just kept drinking, I kept doing more drugs, I kept bouncing from house to house. There was one point in time where everything that I owned was in the back of my car. The moment that everything changed for me was the moment that I woke up in jail, and all I could think to myself was like, but this isn't me. This isn't what, I don't get in trouble. This isn't what I do. The whole time that I was doing drugs and drinking, none of that was wrong because, I was just a kid. I was just having fun. This is what you're supposed to do in your 20s, but I had taken it way too far. And it was going to jail and getting a DWI and going through probation, where I finally got sober for long enough to realize that I had felt like god awful for years, and I didn't even realize it, waking up hungover in the middle of the afternoon, and the only way that you can feel better is to make it through your shift at work so you can go out and drink that night. I remember having panic attacks when I wouldn't drink or do drugs because I didn't know how to handle my emotions or anything that was happening around me. So I think that it definitely takes a realization that self-responsibility is a huge part of being fit and being healthy, because you have to realize that steps that you take towards success, only you can do. You're the only one that can get up and go work out even when you don't feel like it. You're the only one that can track your calories or at least just know about the things that you're putting in your body. But it doesn't mean that you have to be born with those skills or that discipline. That is absolutely something that you can take and grow yourself.
Totally. You know, Jacob and I met in college, you know, like 11 years ago, and basically from like 09 to 2015, 16 is when we were physically addicted to some of the worst drugs that you can hear about. You know, we did that and split up, did our thing, and I just moved to Austin like 4 or 5 years ago, like not that long ago. We just started living together like 3 years ago. All this stuff that we're talking about, this is not a lifetime ago. You know, we are just turned 30, 20% of our life, you know, we were either in jail or on the street. We all had whatever brought us to terms to kind of get away from that. The way I moved to Austin, I had gone to rehab for like the 5th time and was living with a sketchy dude that I met in rehab, and you know, he started using, so I hopped a Greyhound with a backpack to Austin. I knew one dude here, and luckily he let me stay on his couch for a couple months. I got a job, worked, blah, 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 here we are. Now it feels like a lifetime ago. That's how it feels. It was less than 5 years ago, maybe 6 years ago, not that long ago. So everything has changed, you know. Now I'm a plumber. I'm just a regular dude, you know, but that same thing that they kind of built off of was taking responsibility for your actions. And that was, you know, the last thing that I ever wanted to do, ever. Like, even just 3 years ago when we started living together, they went vegan, they quit smoking cigarettes, they kept, you know, they started getting into fitness, and I'm so fucking stubborn that I just continued to smoke cigarettes. The first like year that we dated, we were both on probation. I was on felony probation, and she had her DWI thing. Yeah. And honestly, if it wasn't for them two getting their shit together, then, you know, I probably would be part of the problem in Austin, in these tent cities under bridges all over town. You know, we went to Colorado. We were like, we're gonna do some hiking, hang out, whatever, have fun. Everybody wants to go to Colorado, right? We do some camping, and they want to go hiking. I'm like, sure, it's gonna be like walking the Greenbelt. You know, we'll do a little trail walking for 2 hours, and we'll be done. And we hiked this mountain. It took us 4.5 hours to get to the top of it, and 2.5 hours, like 2 hours to get down. And how was it, like 13 miles up or something?
It was 11.
11? And
Steep, I mean, like climbing.
Dude, it was rough.
Up the mountain.
And we got about, I don't know, halfway, 3/4 of the way up, and I was just laying on the ground. I was legitimately worried that I was not going to be able to get down, because I could not make it to the top, and I couldn't even imagine walking back down, and I thought I was going to have to be care flighted. And for that Colorado trip, I smoked. They had quit smoking. I had smoked cigarettes every day until the day we left. And then it was on that mountain that I was like, okay, something has got to change, you know, because I can't make it like that. And that was a big turning point. And, you know, then we got into Jordan Peterson and Sam Harris, and all these guys are talking about basically telling us to do the things that our parents and our grandparents told us to do their whole life. Yeah. Make your bed, make your dinner, be clean, shower, shave, go to work, be early, take care of your shit. If you're living in a life where you feel trapped and unhappy, it's because you're not taking care of your shit. If you take care of your shit, you won't feel like you're squandering life away, which is how I thought I was going to feel my whole life. You know, you don't want to wake up and work out, or you don't want to, manage your dieting and how much you're eating to lose weight. You know, you just think it's impossible. You know, so you feel beat down inside because of that. You feel like there's this thing that you can't do, you know, but I promise you that you can do it. Okay? Yeah. You can do it, but you have to seriously do it and make changes in your life, you know. We don't go to the bar, you know, exactly. All our friends go out, go drink, do whatever, you know, want to hang out. We'd love to do that, but we're in bed by 9. I had to go to bed by 9 because I got to wake up and work out at 5. You know, I have to do that because after work we have jujitsu. The day is scheduled. Just like when you went to school, your whole day from 8 a.m. to 3 or 4 is scheduled. Why? Because that's how you finish things.
Right.
You make a list and you cross them off one at a time. If you're just like, oh, I want to do this and this and this, but you don't write it down, it's not going to get done. Now, that's just personally me. I have to write it down. It has to be stapled into my daily schedule, because otherwise I'll just sit on the couch and watch TV and I will say, hey, I'll do that. And that's going to take me 5 minutes. I'll do it in a minute, and then it never gets done. And then all of a sudden you feel like your feet are in concrete and you can't get out.
Well, and a big part, I think, of making these changes too is information. Knowledge is power. I've heard that my entire life. Knowledge is power. But it never actually meant anything to me until I realized everything that I want to do, there is someone out there who's a master at it. There is someone out there who's giving out amazing free information on how to be successful, and that is exactly what we hope to do with the information that we've gathered over the last few years of our lives trying to get our shit together.
And just for some perspective, now you've heard about how we were. We have made some of these changes. We don't drink. We don't smoke cigarettes. We just got this house that you're seeing in, and I mean, the studs and the foundation were here and the drywall's up, but it was not something that you would want to live in. And we, fixed it up ourselves. We did that, not knowing how to do any of it. We just used the University of YouTube. I think that's a great thing that Chelsea said. Information, but not only information, but you have to realize, as a human being, you're an adaptive being. If you look at information and you follow it and you do what it says, you will change yourself. It wasn't even 2 years ago. I mean, it'll be 2 years ago in June that I first started doing the barbell back squat. And I was a 150-pound vegan, and I could only put 95 pounds on the bar, and it was the hardest thing I've ever done. It hurt so bad. It hurt.
What do you weigh now?
And now I'm right at 200 pounds. I can easily squat over 300 pounds. But it hurt so bad. And of course, I wanted to say, I can't squat. All the drugs that I've done, man, my knees are bad, right? My back is bad. I can't do it. I'll get hurt. But luckily, we found people on YouTube that had been lifting for years that said, look, your back's gonna hurt. I'm sorry, but suck it up a little bit and just keep lifting the weight. And eventually, it won't hurt when you do it. And I don't know why, but I just listen to those people. Cody mentioned a guy named Jordan Peterson. One of his favorite quotes I love is doing dangerous things as carefully as possible. Yeah. That's the way you adapt. That's the way you grow. You get better. You have to get out of your comfort zone.
Yeah. You have to make that jump, and all the stuff that we're talking about, trying to take responsibility and come up with a schedule, do the things that are going to put you in position to be successful, right? So, but before you do any of that, you have to figure out what you want.
Yeah.
I had no idea what I wanted for the longest time. I still really don't know what I want, but I know there's things that I want, okay? I want to be, athletic. I want to be able to use my body in situations. I want to be able to, be under load and be successful. I want to be in a stressful, panicky situation, and I want to stay calm, right? And honestly, jiu-jitsu has been the biggest help in that, putting me in these crazy positions where in any situation I would, have a panic attack or freak out or just be scared so I wouldn't react. And it really teaches you that you just manage your breathing. You can control all of that. All the emotions that we have coming into us all day, coming in and out, coming in and out. It's like a highway, right? One emotion comes, it leaves, another comes, it leaves, right? And we can get worked up through that. But if you just try to stay present, and that kind of, I guess it builds on meditation, which I'm not, very versed in. But it's all about trying to control your reaction, right? If life isn't going the way you want it to, you can't change the world, okay?
Yeah.
You can't do it. Guess what? People are going to say things that you don't like, People are going to have opinions that hurt your feelings. Things are going to happen to people that you love, and it's going to be painful. All that is going to happen. You know, earlier Jacob was talking about, you know, not wanting to lift or do because, you know, oh, you got bad knees or you're going to hurt. You could get hurt. Yes, you can get hurt. In fact, you will get hurt in life, whether you work out or not.
Exactly.
But the question is, when you get hurt, do you want to be strong with a hurt back? Or do you want to be weak with a hurt back? You know, I've always said, if you look at elderly people are the greatest people to kind of watch and figure out to dictate your life on. Unfortunately, and we don't seem to kind of do that with our elderly. But there's two kind of elderly people. There's one that they walk in little bitty 2-inch steps. And then there's the other that wakes up and walks like 4 miles in the morning. And, you know, where do you want to be when you're 80? I want to be walking around the block, you know, every day. I want to wake up and go for that long walk because that's a prolonged, strong, healthy life.
Yeah.
But in order to get that, you don't start walking at 75. You know,
Right.
You have to do that now. If you're 50 and you're overweight, you can still get there. You know, you can
Right.
still get there. You know, it doesn't take long.
The reason we wanted to kind of tell you our background is so that you would realize not only are we not special, but if you're someone that's just trying to get in shape, but you were never addicted to heroin, well, congratulations. You're starting off closer to your goal than we were, you know?
Yeah.
We were drug addicts, like homeless drug addicts.
Yeah.
And we've done so. I mean, it's like, if you already go to work, like, you're already 4 or 5 steps ahead of where we were.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that a big driver for me too was, you know, I listen to a lot of Joe Rogan, we all do, and one of my favorite things he's ever said about exercise is he also sees it as a way to mentally put himself in a struggle purposefully, so that when something stressful comes up in his life, he's able to just handle the situation. He already knows what struggle feels like. He already knows what it's like to go through something difficult. And if you have ever put at least your body weight on your back and done a squat with it, you know exactly what we talk about when we talk about the struggle
Right.
of that. Is it rewarding? Absolutely. But does that mean it's easy? Absolutely not.
Right.
And it wouldn't be worth it if it was, right? Because
No,
everything
totally.
worth doing is difficult.
Exactly. If you become skillful at something that's very easy, you know, you're probably not going to get a lot inside out of that,
Yeah.
you know. But if you become very skillful at something that's difficult, then you're going to become very fulfilled on the inside, you know.
Yeah.
And that was a big part of being a drug addict, I think. I always felt like I had this puzzle piece missing inside.
Mm.
And I don't feel that way anymore because I make an effort. You have to make an effort to be successful. And if you make an effort to be successful, you just will be successful. It's just how it works. You know, it's a mindset.
I am not an optimistic person by any means.
Yeah.
I
See her in the
definitely.
morning.
Oh man.
It's terrible.
11 o'clock, 2 pots of coffee, then you can talk to it.
Right.
I can definitely, I see the negative in every day. I dwell on the negative some days. Luckily, I've got pretty much the most annoyingly positive person to live with. So he doesn't really allow you to stay there for very long. But not, and I understand not everybody has that, so it can be even more difficult, I know. But I can tell you that anecdotally for me, my day-to-day life, the days that I choose to see the silver lining and the hope, the days that I choose to congratulate myself or celebrate myself and all of the progress that I've made, the days that I choose to see tomorrow as an opportunity to be one day better than I am, are the days that I am at my happiest. They're the days I feel the most peace. They are the days that I know that I'm on the right path and I'm doing the right thing. And everybody deserves to feel that way, but it doesn't fall in your lap, and it doesn't land at your feet, and it's not going to be something that you just wake up and you're good at it every day. You're consistent. You can do it. It's something you're going to have to battle. The mental battle is just as difficult as the physical workouts. When we first started working out, I had the hardest time being consistent. It just wasn't clicking with me. I remember having so many conversations with Jacob about, like, why can't I just show up? Why can't I just go in there and do it, even when I don't feel like doing it? It's a battle, it's a war that you have to go through to make those habits. But once you get there, it's like now I wake up and there are days where I'm like, man, I really don't want to do this workout.
Right.
But I find myself halfway through my warm-up or halfway through my warm-up sets and I'm realizing like, I'm already almost done.
Yeah.
I'm already in
Yeah.
here.
And if you do that, that's kind of why we kind of prefer to work out in the morning. It's like you're getting the hardest part of your day over right there, right? So if working out is a struggle, just getting your shoes on and going for a run or whatever it is, if that's the hardest part for you, then if you do that first, everything else that comes at you during the day, your boss, giving you crap about your TPS reports or, whatever, your ex-wife yelling at you, anything that comes your way is going to seem so minuscule because you already pushed yourself to the limit and you came out on the other side. And now you're going to walk with your chest higher and your back straighter. And that's just how it's going to be because you're going to see, especially if you've never been consistent, right? You're going to see a whole new side of yourself.
Yeah.
You're going to see a whole new person, right? It's one thing if, you were athletic, then you let yourself go, now you're trying to get back at it, that's cool too. You're going to see a new side of yourself too, but maybe it won't be as new for somebody who's never, done it. All this talk about consistency, we've been working out, he said 2 years he's been lifting, we've been living together 3, right? So we've kind of been doing this intermittently, right? And I was the one who's like, I'll work out for 2 weeks and then I quit for a month and then I lift for 2 or 3 weeks, then I quit for a month. I did that for like 2 years, right? I just recently have finished. Today is my finish of 8 weeks straight consistency.
And how much strength have you gained in those 8 weeks?
In just 8 weeks, all my numbers went crazy up. I'm not doing anything super impressive, but I've gained 10 pounds. I went from 155 pounds up to about 164, so about 9 pounds. So I'm squatting like 240, benching 180, and deadlifting like 340. So just in 8 weeks, I've blown all my numbers out of the water just by lifting 3 days a week, doing it Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, and that's it. And on my other days, I just go to work. Now, my job is fairly physically labor intensive, but it's not gonna get me ripped. Think of a plumber in your head. What does he look like, right? Anyways, the point is that you can do more than you think you can do.
Right.
Okay.
A quick bit of information, as Chelsea was saying, information is power. And this is going to be, I think this is a perfect example of what we're talking about. I bet I'm going to see if in your head you think this when I tell you that if you have a labor-intensive job or not, but you go to work, and even if you sit at a desk or you do phone calls, that's mentally stressful,
Totally.
So you work all day and you go, I don't have the energy to do a workout on top of this. Well, what if I told you that that's a lie that you've heard, that you've been telling yourself? Because the more you use the body, the more energy is filled in your body. It's the atrophy, it's the sitting in the chair, staring at a screen. That's what's making you exhausted.
Yep.
If you take that time away and you work out or you do fitness things and you build that consistency, you will have more energy. Now, I'm sure naturally in your head's going, no, that's for you because you're in shape and you're young and you can do this stuff. But that's what we're trying to get through in this intro video, is that is a lie. There's several preconceived notions you have in your brain about what being fit is that are just lies, and that's what's killing. It's not that you don't have the willpower to do it. It's like you just have to trust us when we say if you work out more often, you will have more energy. Now, maybe not at first. It'll take, you have to build.
Right.
That's where the mental motivation comes. That's what Chelsea's going to be here for, to help you be mentally motivated to do it in the beginning. But if you continue to do these things, you will notice benefits in your daily life. Not just being strong and being able to squat a lot of weight, but going to the grocery store will be easier. Doing the dishes will be easier. You'll live your whole day and your back won't hurt as much.
Your golf game will go up.
Yeah. My hope is that what we can do is educate you enough that you will be able to take in information and you will be able to decipher whether it is true or it is somebody trying to take your money.
Right.
Because there are absolutely people who take advantage of people who don't have the right information. But I think that that's our goal with all of this extra time that we have now that we're moved into the house. We just want to make sure that you know what you're getting yourself into when you hit the subscribe button. You're going to get a lot of information. You're going to get exercises. You're going to get form videos. You're going to get everything that you need to make the changes that you want to make in your life, not for us, not for your neighbor, but for you, to wake up every morning knowing that you are going in the direction that you want to be going, and that you have somebody to holla at when you're feeling like it's a struggle.
Because, you know, I know it can be easier to just sit there on the couch and stare at your phone and say that it's everyone else's fault, but I hate to break it to you, it's time to get your shit together.
It's time to get your shit together. For sure.
Get your shit together.
If you wanna be amazing, or the better place, draw lanes around me. I seen it from the ground. Talking outside of Queens, and the rings are rainy, the cameras in around. Just take the check from the boomer, baby. I know we are bound, but the hope is that hell frozen, baby. I seem to be unfazing just because the mood is raising. Isolate on dose and mason, immolate. I'm the autophagy. That's all the scene, and God is all we want. To set the rest is not that easy. Down and out, unlock.
Je vois plusieurs péniches. Et puis les ponts sur la Seine. C'est le pont Alexandre III, là?
Fais voir. Non.
Yeah, now that I know that I would, finding the paper for good, smoking up none but the good, now that I should. God be the girl, low be the bar, high be the bush, time to inhale, light up the kush, we went together, I know that we would, higher etc, higher for now, running on down, run me a noun, let me a noun, you pull the trigger slow down, I pull the trigger, it's now, run through the crowd, homeward I bound, smoke me a pound, turn it around and around and around, running astound, fuck with my vibe, tell me was death a surprise, how was the love and the rise, all but these wonderful lies, people run running a mile, said that she let me a smile, yeah, I got no number to dial, yeah, drip in the house, drip on the couch, if I am tripping I drip on the couch, pull me around, everyone down, I will not send you a sound.